hearing, especially today, the lies that are being peddled by some Republicans who should really know better. They should be ashamed of themselves. So, I want to show you this. I want to show you a portion of the video. We have more for you. But a portion of the video, Officer Malone is outside on the Capitol steps on the lower west terrace. This is approximately 3:15 on that day. There is a scuffle with the insurrectionists. He's tased, and you hear him screaming as one of the insurrectionists says, "Got one." That is the first time I've watched that. I turn it off before it gets to that point. I've not seen that part. It's for all the people who it's hugs and kisses. Didn't happen. Come on. That's a reality of what happened to Officer Michael Fanone that day. Dragged down the steps, tased with his own weapon, and then you heard him yelling, "I have kids," which seemed to get through to some of the people in that crowd who gave him some protection. Knocked unconscious, and when he came to, all he wanted to know was, did we take the door back? Referring to the struggle he was part of inside the tunnel, fighting alongside officers trying to stop insurrectionists from taking the Capitol. It's incredible. Hero, like I said. This is what he said later about some people in the crowd who gave him protection.
A lot of people have asked me, my thoughts on the individuals in the crowd that, that helped me or try to offer some assistance. And I think kind of the conclusion I've come to is like, thank you, but you for being there.
And that is the truth. Amen. We all saw exactly what happened on January 6th, on the darkest day, one of the darkest days, I should say the darkest day in recent history of this nation's history. Yet some Republicans are shamefully trying to whitewash the deadly insurrection at the Capitol, the insurrection that was spawned by the big lie. Congressman Andrew Clyde of Georgia, who wants you to forget what you saw with your own eyes, saying there was no insurrection.
There was no insurrection, and to call it an insurrection, in my opinion, is a bold-faced lie. Watching the TV footage of those who entered the Capitol and walked through Statuary Hall showed people in an orderly fashion staying between the stanchions and ropes taking videos and pictures. If you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
Tell that to the families of the officers who were involved. That is a lie. That's 100% a lie. These were bloodthirsty rioters. You saw what happened to Officer Fanone, all because of that big lie, the big lie that Liz Cheney refused to support. And for that, Republicans threw her under the bus. The vote held behind closed doors. So none of those cowards in the GOP would have to answer for those votes. But if they thought that they would silence her, they were sure wrong. Liz Cheney stepped up to the microphones and said this.
I am absolutely committed, as I said last night, as I said just now to my colleagues, that we must go forward based on truth. We cannot both embrace the big lie and embrace the Constitution. I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office. We have seen the danger that he continues to provoke with his language. We have seen his lack of commitment and dedication to the Constitution. And I think it's very important that we make sure whomever we elect is somebody who will be faithful to the Constitution. Wow.
I said it last night, this is a profile in courage. Liz Cheney refused to back down, even though she knew her party would punish her by taking away her leadership post, when she's one of the few Republicans showing any kind of leadership at all, any kind of competency at all. But the most incredible thing we heard today was from Kevin McCarthy. And even for the minority leader, this is stunning.
I don't think anybody is questioning the legitimacy of the presidential election. I think that is all over with. We're sitting here with the president today. So from that point of view, I don't think that's a problem.
He doesn't think anybody is questioning the legitimacy of the presidential election? Okay. That's what absolutely everything is about. The enormous, gigantic, big lie. The insurrection spawned by the big lie. Everything. The only thing he got right was that Joe Biden is the president. A fact. That's right. A fact. The disgraced, twice impeached, one-term former president is not only questioning, he's still lying about it. Just last week, he tried to co-opt the big lie in service of his own election denial, putting out a statement saying the fraudulent presidential election of 2020 will be, from this day forth, known as the big lie. And then there's this video of him on stage at Mar-a-Lago ranting about finding thousands and thousands of votes. Lie.
Watch Arizona. Some very interesting things are happening in Arizona, right? You know about that. We just had a big ruling on the Senate, the state Senate of Arizona. Let's see what they find. I wouldn't be surprised if they found thousands and thousands and thousands of votes. This was a rigged election. Everybody knows it, and we're going to be watching it very closely.
God, it's like a bad, no, it's not like a bad lounge act. It is a bad lounge act. He's at a bad lounge doing a bad act. And then there's this, comparing our free and fair election to a thief robbing a jewelry store, saying, quote, the diamonds must be returned. Liz Cheney stood up against a big lie, lost her leadership post for it. Now, on the same day, Republicans tried to whitewash the insurrection at the Capitol. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the lies. You saw what happened to Officer Fanone. And let's remember what he told me about what he experienced that day and how he feels about elected officials whitewashing what happened.
It's been very difficult seeing elected officials and other individuals kind of whitewash the events of that day or downplay what happened. You know, some of the terminology that was used, like hugs and kisses and, you know, very fine people, is like very different from what I experienced and what my coworkers experienced on the 6th. I experienced a group of individuals that were trying to kill me to accomplish, you know, their goal. And I think that sorry, Don. Man, I didn't think I'd get this emotional. Yeah, I mean, I experienced the most brutal, savage, hand-to-hand combat of my entire life, let alone my policing career, which spans almost 2 decades. It was nothing that I had ever thought would be a part of my law enforcement career, and nor was I prepared to experience.
And that is the brutal truth of what happened that day at the Capitol. The brutal truth told by a true American hero. And no Republican lies, no attempts to hide what happened can change that. Our democracy depends on telling the truth. And the truth is exactly what you saw in that video of what happened on January 6th. That's not all of it. We've got more from that exclusive video obtained by CNN coming up later in the show.